One, two. And we are live. Welcome everybody for this live stream on how to make money with a meme coin when you are a blockchain developer. We are going to discuss 5 different methods. If you're new here, I'm Julian, and on Eat the Blocks, I help you to become a professional blockchain developer. So, hi everybody in the chat, where you guys are from. I see a few people already. So, if you guys are new here, first check out my free roadmap to become a blockchain developer. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. Basically, this is a required knowledge if you're new here and you don't really know how you can make the transition, what do you have to learn and how to get your first job in the space. Check out the training because this is free and this is going to be so useful. It's going to save you weeks of research. The link is in the chat. So we have people already responding in the chat. Hi from India, from Colombia. Amazing. So how can we make money with meme coin? Okay, so what is a meme coin? Okay, if you've been living under a rock, you just woke up, you don't know what is a meme coin. No problem. So meme coin is a token, so this is a crypto, created just for fun, just for speculation. So, there is no bullshit with meme coin. There is no crazy roadmap, ambitious development plan, etc. No. From the start, everybody knows this is just a giant joke. But this giant joke can make you really rich or really poor. Actually, for most people, it's really poor. But basically, what's interesting with meme coin is that it's super volatile. So if you catch them early, you can make some 10x, 100x. But once again, it's most of them go nowhere. So you gotta be really, really careful. So that is what is a meme coin. So now, as a developer, how can you make money from this? So there are different ways. Because we are a developer and we have technical skills, we have access to some techniques that are not available to other people. So the first thing that you can do is just to so instead of just speculating with meme coin, so most people that just try to speculate with meme coin, but the problem with that is that actually it can be a little bit hard to make money with meme coin because a lot of projects are really scammy. So there's a really high chance that you lose all your money when you invest in meme coin. And also the big problem is to know when to buy the token, because you need to buy exactly at the right time. And you also need to filter the good tokens, the non-scammy ones. So instead of doing that, what you can do is to create your own token, because if you create your meme coin, it turns out everything is just way easier. So first of all, you aren't going to scam yourself, right? I mean, I hope so. So you already know that this token is not going to do anything shady. And you also know when it's going to launch, because it's just when you decide to launch it. So you have a lot of privileged information. So what you do is that you just launch your token and you buy it at the very beginning, and then you take your profit once it has reached a level that you're happy with. And it's as simple as this. But because you're the creator of the token, you have so much more control. So of course, there's a whole marketing part that I'm not gonna get too deep into this, but basically you have to do some work before you launch the token, things that as a dev maybe you don't really want to do, but it's still necessary if you want to be successful, like reaching out to influencers like me or being active on the Twitter. And so once you've done that, you just launch your coin, you buy some, and you sell some. So how much can you earn? So that is a very good question. Look, it really depends on how good you are with marketing, but basically it can go. So first of all, how much can you lose by doing this? How much can you lose? Well, basically the transaction fee. So transaction fee necessary to cover the deployment cost. So when you're going to deploy your token, you need to pay a transaction fee, and depending on the blockchain, is more or less expensive. Usually, if you want a successful meme token, you're going to deploy it on a cheap blockchain. So hopefully the deployment cost won't be big, but we're talking of what, like on Base, for example, if you deploy a token, I don't think you're gonna pay more than a few dollar plus, let's say, a few transactions that you'll need to do. Let's say $10, okay, and even cheaper on Solana. And so that's how much you can lose. And of course, if you invest in marketing, that's another thing you can lose, but that's up to you how much you want to invest. And how much you can make? Well, it can go from a few $1,000s if you really have a very small market cap to millions, literally. So of course, very few people end up making millions, but we have seen cases of developer who made millions with a meme coin, and we even have seen some non-coders who made millions. So like this guy here. So this is another video on my channel. I encourage you to check it out. But we can do better than this guy because we know coding. So yeah, so this is how you can make money by creating your own meme coin. And so here, let's see some example of meme coin. So of course there is Dogecoin that got super famous during the last bull market when Elon was pumping it. And at the top, it reached a market cap of $70 billion. So that's really a lot. And people who bought early, they made some crazy gains, 100x, 1000x. That's insane. But here it's important to understand that you have two categories of meme coins. You have meme coins that are their own blockchain, meaning that the whole blockchain is just for the meme coin. So people can do this by cloning some existing blockchain like a Bitcoin or Ethereum. And the other category of token of meme coin is token on existing blockchain. So of course, it's much more difficult to deploy a meme coin that is its whole blockchain. Technically, it's way more difficult, and also in terms of expenses, you need to, for example, you need to provision some servers on AWS to run the different mining node, etc. So it's a little bit more involved. Of course, it's always more trustworthy when you take the pain to do this. Of course, people will think that your meme coin is more serious than when it's just a token. But for most people, I don't recommend to do that. So I recommend to just do the second method, just try to do a token on an existing blockchain. It's just way easier. And we had some really successful meme coin like this, like who reached market cap of several $1 billion. So if you buy really early, that's an insane profit. So yeah, so two type of meme coin. And so now the question is, how can you create your meme coin technically? So for that, so there are different ways to do it. So you can use a token generator, like my token generator, actually, a token toolbox. This is me who did it. And you don't need to code with this, but since we are coder, we can do better than this. And if we code our own token, it can be way more flexible. So if you deploy it on an EVM blockchain, that means a blockchain that uses the technology of Ethereum, you will need a programming language called Solidity. It's if you want to master Solidity, it's not as simple as it seems, but if you just want to do a token, you can probably in a few weeks, you will know enough. In general, we don't write the code of a token from scratch because that's very dangerous to do this. So we have libraries like OpenZeppelin, which is basically like a template that you can use, where you will have a lot of functionality for your token already. So you will use a library like this, and on top of this library, if you want, you can do some custom coding to add some functionality to your meme coin. For example, if you want some sort of transaction fee, some special fee that is taken for each transaction. There are many ways to customize your token. And then once your token is ready, the next step will be to deploy it. So you will need to deploy it on the blockchain. And for that, you can use there are some blockchain APIs that can help you, like Infura or QuickNote. And those services for the basic functions are free. But you will need to pay the transaction fee to the network that you use. And after that, the next step will be to provide liquidity to an exchange. So there are different ways to distribute a token. So in the past, we had ICOs, for example, but ICOs during this bull market are completely dead. People don't do like this anymore, especially for meme coin. What people do is that they do so-called fair launch, meaning that this is a mechanism that makes sure that there won't be a small proportion of the market of investor that will have a large part of the token. This is what we call whales, and people hate that. Like if you try to give yourself a crazy allocation, or actually any allocation at all, it's gonna be harder to sell your meme coin concept to the community. So in general, what's better to do is you will provide the liquidity to a decentralized exchange like Uniswap. So that's basically a smart contract on the blockchain that can be used to trade your coin, and you don't need any authorization. This is basically a transaction that you send to this exchange, and it will create a new market for your meme coin. There is no listing fee. The only fee you'll pay is, once again, the transaction fee to the Ethereum network, like for any transaction. You will provide this, the liquidity for 100% of the token. And then what you will do is that basically you are going to burn what's called the LP token. So basically the LP token, this represents the liquidity that you provided to the exchange. So at the beginning, all the coin belong to you, but by burning the liquidity, now you can it ensure that, first of all, you don't have any token anymore. These aren't yours. And second, you cannot remove the liquidity from the exchange, which is called a rug pull. And basically, this is the big fear of investors in meme coin, is the rug pull, because that's basically a way to scam investor. So if you provide the liquidity and then you burn the LP token, then this is called a fair launch, because anybody can buy through the decentralized exchange, and you have no privilege. If your only privilege is that you know exactly the timing of the deployment, and also you know the team of the token, because that's yourself. But yeah, that's the process to create your meme coin. And so with your coding skill, you can do everything from A to Z, and this is a big advantage that you have compared to other people. All right, so in terms of blockchain, there are several blockchains that are very popular for meme coins. So for meme coins, basically people don't want to pay transaction fees or high transaction fees. So on Ethereum, the problem is the transaction fees are really high. So right now, there are two blockchains that are very popular for meme coin. I'm talking of Solana and I'm talking of Base. So the big advantage of Base is that you can use anything that you learn for Ethereum, the same technology, Solidity, all the development tools I use for Ethereum, you can reuse them for Base. So that's a huge advantage. Whereas on Solana, you need to learn a completely different tech stack, where also the job market is much smaller. So that's not always worth it to invest so much in this tech stack. So that's why I really like doing meme coin on Base. You can just leverage the skills you already have. All right, so that's basically the first way to monetize, to make money with meme coin when you're a blockchain dev. but I have some other ideas in my bag. So second idea, in so I'm gonna share my screen again. And actually, I got this idea. Oh yeah. So last thing, if you want a tutorial on how to create an ERC20 token on Base, check out my channel. I have another video on that topic. So next idea for monetizing, making money with meme coin, and I got this from Twitter. So it's coming from a famous auditor in the space. And actually, some people thought that it was a joke, but I think that's a serious idea. So make an audit firm for meme coins. So what is this? So on the blockchain, when projects are being released, they want to make sure that their code is solid. So even if you have crazy good developers, it's always possible that there is some security vulnerability. So that's why a lot of blockchain projects, they will pay some companies to do a code audit, meaning that some external developer will have a look at the code of an existing project. And so those companies are doing really well. And so in general, they audit all sort of code. So any sort of protocol like DeFi, NFT, etc. And it can be a little bit challenging to get started in the space because you have no credibility at the beginning. So one way to a very great way to get started is to be different from the other. And how to be different? Well, by being specialized. So it's very counterintuitive, but basically by limiting the scope of what you're doing, you actually make yourself more attractive. So you could create an audit firm just for meme coins. And right now, I haven't seen a lot of meme coins that get audited, but it's possible that in the future, they will do it more and more. And so what's the interest of the token maker to pay for an audit? Basically, it's credibility, because after they can go to their community and say, hey, check out this audit. We did one audit from this reputable company. Or even sometimes they can do several audits so that you have several auditors that try to poke hole in the code and find any vulnerability. And so for them, it's a very small expense compared to the benefit it can bring them, because now investors are can be sure that there is, first of all, there's no bug in the code, and also nothing scammy, like no secret backdoor, no secret function to steal the tokens of everybody. So operationally, what I really like with this is that since you reduce the scope a lot, it's actually way easier to become specialized in this, because very quickly you will see different kind of tokens. So you will acquire an expertise that is very, very relevant for a specific kind of project. Whereas if you try to start an audit company for any kind of project, well, maybe one project is going to be about DeFi, the next one is going to be about NFT, but it's going to take way more time to build your expertise. Whereas in this case, you'll build your expertise way faster. And also from a marketing point of view, it's also way easier to sell yourself, because now you can say, hey, look, we are the master of the meme coin. So in terms of how much money could you charge? Well, here, so PyShop on Twitter gives a recommendation. So basically a few $1,000s, and for the first audit, you can do them even cheaper or even for free, just to get started and get some testimonial from customer. But yeah, I mean, I know it sounds crazy, and some people thought it was actually a joke. I don't think this is a joke at all. So you have to project yourself a little bit in the future. Like maybe now it's kind of like a semi-joke, but maybe in the future meme token will become a little bit more sophisticated, and so it will make more sense. So yeah, I'm actually for Eat the Blocks. So just funny anecdote, we used to have an auditing company about 1 year ago, and I decided to shut it down because I just wanted to be super focused on the education business, and seeing this actually make me want to try again. And yeah, I might try it again. So I give you this advice, but it's actually I would probably use this advice myself. Okay, so that was my second way of making money with meme coin. Um, the third way is by creating a token generator. So I already mentioned this before. So you have a small population of blockchain dev, but you have an even bigger population of entrepreneurs who want to create meme coin but don't have the coding skill. So they have a choice. Either they hire blockchain developers to create a token, but can be a bit expensive, or another option is to use a no-code tool. This is what we call a token generator. So I have one myself. And so just by clicking, you can deploy a tokens. And basically, this is up to you to how sophisticated you want it to be. So you can allow for different options, different settings, etc. But of course, it's always going to be more limited compared to if you coded it yourself, because with a user interface, you have always less options. But if you can cover, let's say, 80% of the use cases, for a lot of people, it's still fine. So how would you make money with a token generator? So there are two ways to make money. One way is by taking a fee on for each token that you mint. Basically, you're gonna take some part of the supply. So of course, it's gonna be a very small part, like 0.001% of something like this. But if you have a lot of this allocation, let's say you have 100 people use your token generator, so probably most of these tokens are not going anywhere. But if just one of them go to the moon with your small allocation, and it can 100x, and you can make potentially $100,000. So very interesting way to monetize this. Another way, if you're a little bit more risk averse, is to just have a fixed fee. So people pay in Ethereum directly, for example, or USDC or whatever, when they use your token generator. So basically, you have the front end. Technically, you have the front end, and this is going to be this can be connected to a smart contract. And so with just one click, you can do two things. You can trigger the deployment, and you can also send some money to yourself. And so that's awesome, because you don't even need to work out the integration with Stripe, and which will require to have a legal entity, etc. With this, it's just super simple. You just have your payment system is already integrated in the blockchain. So no third-party tool needed. In terms of skill, what kind of skill do you need for something like this? So in terms of smart contract, not so much. It's not very difficult. I can probably learn it in a couple of days. But what will take more time is to learn the front end, because you want the user interface to be nice. You want the design to be nice. So if you're not very good at the front end, well, maybe you'll need to do to improve there, because from the user perspective, if it's not easy to use, they're not going to use your token generator. And so once you have your token generator ready, the next step is to send some traffic to it. And of course, as always, that's the most difficult. So if you are like me and you have a YouTube channel, of course, it's way easier. But otherwise, what you can do is basically reach out to people like me. For example, in the past, I've worked with several token generators. So that one is mine. But on my channel, I also mentioned other token generator, where basically what happened is that the influencer will get an affiliate fee. So every time someone uses a token generator, the influencer will get some fee as well. So just pay them only when you make money. So you don't take any risk. And also, if you're active on Twitter, that's also a good way to talk about it. But yeah, so another great way to monetize the meme coin frenzy. Next way. So next way is to create some tools for meme coins. So all those meme coins, they are very, very special, and they're not really covered by existing tools like CoinMarketCap, etc. So some smart people creating some tools like DEX tools, for example. This is a sort of analysis tool for trader, especially for trader who trade meme coins, and they basically, from what I understand, is like they monetize with advertisement. So basically, as long as you have some traffic on your website, you will find a way to monetize it. And so I know those tools. A lot of them, they have a free tier, so they will monetize partly with ads, but you can also have a part which is paid. So I know this tool, for example, Dex tool, they have a free tier and they have a paid tier. So if you see a tool like this, that's quite scary. You're like, hey, I'm a solo developer. How the hell I'm gonna do something like this? So let me reassure you, like, this is not a solo dev who did this. This is a team, and how I know it, because I did some research and I found out that it's actually this company that created this tool, Dex tool. So it's not them who own this tool. It's like an owner that contracted with this blockchain company. So here you have two choices, basically. Either you do it for yourself, so you create it and then you are the operator, or you provide this service to entrepreneurs who want to run this but they don't know how to create it. Which is a little bit less risky, of course, but there is less upside. And so, yeah, here this is something that was done by a whole team, but if you're a solo developer, well, you could do something more simple. So maybe out of all those features here, maybe there's just one that is used by most traders. Well, you can do your entire tool just with this one feature, but you do it really well. So that's how I would do it. All right, so yeah, basically creating trading tools for meme coins. And last way to make money with meme coin is just very simply to trade them. But here's where it gets interesting, because as a developer, actually you have some advantage over non-developers, because first thing, you can read the code of meme coins. So instead of just praying and hoping that there is no bug, there is no scam, what you can do is check out the code that is deployed, not the code on GitHub, okay? We don't care about this. I want to see the code that is deployed. And so, for example, on Base, you can use their Blockchain Explorer Base scan. And here I found the token of Brett. So, that's a Brett here. That's a very big meme coin on Base. And if you click on contract, you will see their source code. And this is, here you need to see the green check mark. This is what we call a verified source code, which means that if there's a base scan, make sure that this is the actual code that is deployed. So there is no scam possible here. They cannot say, hey, look, this is the code we deployed, but actually this is another one. No, base scan will make sure that everything is legit. So here you have the code and you can read it. So yeah, it just goes through all those lines and you see if anything look fishy, and you can do this because you're a dev, but regular investor can't do this. So huge advantage here. And another way that you can benefit as a still in this category, so trading meme coin, is that you can create trading bot for meme coin. So you leverage your coding skill. Typical one is a sniper bot that just trade that buys the new meme coin. So there are ones that already exist that don't require any coding skills, but you need to trust them for private key management. For example, there is one very popular which is called Banana Gun, where basically you have to give it your private key. And I don't know about you, but personally, I don't feel super comfortable doing that. So you could reproduce some of the functionality of a trading bot like this, but just do it yourself, and now you're sure there is no problem for private key management. And so if you're interested in trading bot, you can check out one of my video on the channel where I teach you how to code a Bitcoin trading bot with arbitrage. But actually, you can use the same technique for a meme coin. You can also do arbitrage with a meme coin. Basically, if meme coin are trading at different exchanges, you can also do arbitrage. And yeah, and so that's basically it. How you can make money. 5 ways that you can make money with meme coin as a blockchain dev. So I'm gonna check the chat if there's any question. But as a reminder, if you're new here, check out my roadmap where I will teach you everything that you need to do to become a professional blockchain developer. All right, so let's see what we have in the chat here. So Coco, hi from Croatia, TSX. Then what else? No Code Dev, French. Salut, comment allez-vous? Hi Julian, the screen is not super clear. Okay, so screen needs a little clarity. I'm not sure why that's the case. Maybe that's a problem with YouTube. I don't know, guys. I will check out after, but that's really strange. All right. Well, I guess we are done for today. So thanks everybody for coming here. And we'll come back tomorrow with a coding project. Tomorrow we're gonna code a blockchain app at the same time. All right, so come back tomorrow. Bye.